Hey guys, today we have Om Prakash and he is having 3.5 year of experience in Java, Spring Boot and microservices. And those who want to give same free mock interview, please fill out the form below in the description. So now let's get started. Hey, hello Om Prakash, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, Faizan. How are you?
Yes, I'm also good. Shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So Om Prakash, can you please introduce yourself and your recent project in brief?
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
myself, Om Prakash Kumar.
Mm-hmm.
I completed my graduation from Indian Institute of Information Technology, Guwahati,
Mm-hmm.
and currently I am having 3.5 years of experience and working in
Okay.
Portusa Private Limited.
Okay.
So what my last project? I did my last project in insurance management system.
Mm-hmm.
That client was RSL, that is Reliance Standard Limited.
Mm-hmm.
So that project was all about like building microservices for different services like for user profiles, policy,
Mm-hmm.
and claim and all.
Okay.
So and my role was in that to like create a microservices and all and build APIs and all.
Okay. 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 So how APIs communicate with each other in your
So
microservice environment?
so API
Mm-hmm.
communicate with the help of API gateway in the microservice environment.
API gateway.
Yeah,
Okay. And how do you consume external APIs?
external APIs.
Uh-huh.
How do you consume means? Sorry.
Let's say external APIs, APIs outside from your environment, from your application.
Yep. So that is for we using API gateway not to communicate from.
Okay. Have you heard about REST template?
Yes.
So what is this REST template?
So REST template also used to communicate between REST APIs like
Mm-hmm.
over HTTP. And
Mm-hmm.
this is like basically like earlier we used to use REST template now. Nowadays API gateway only.
Okay, okay. No, no, it's not like that. It's up to the client requirement.
Yes.
And what is a
Sorry.
Fin client? Have you used Fin client?
Yes. Mm.
What is this?
So FinClient is like a Spring Cloud features we can say or
Mm-hmm.
component. Uh, uh, uh,
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how do you achieve abstraction in your code base?
Abstraction code base.
Like what is abstraction, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's like hiding the implementation details and all.
So how do you achieve the abstraction in your project?
Okay, so basically using abstract class, we can
Mm-hmm.
use the abstraction, and using interface, we can use yeah, we can achieve abstraction.
Okay. What's the difference between abstraction and encapsulation?
In abstraction and
Encapsulation.
encapsulation.
Uh-huh.
Abstraction is like, see, in abstraction we can either we can create an abstract class or concrete
Mm-hmm.
class, both we have that options in abstraction.
Mm-hmm.
And what next you said, I didn't get clear.
Encapsulation.
Encapsulation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
encapsulation is like hiding the like in bundle the data, hiding such
Mm-hmm.
like using access modifier and all.
Okay. So can you tell me a real example of encapsulation in your project based on your project?
Okay, I'll tell you encapsulation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Say, suppose there is a scenario so
Mm-hmm.
where we want such kind of class or method that
Mm-hmm.
cannot be altered or in change the value by some other
Mm-hmm.
subclasses and all. So in that case, we use getter methods, getter and
Mm-hmm.
setter method. So in that those who are using or extending that like superclass, they are only
Mm-hmm.
able to get the values. They are not able to create the instance or object of that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
encapsulated class.
Okay. Okay. How does Java's memory model work?
Like memory management in Java.
Memory model.
Memory model.
like heap, stack,
Yes,
and
okay.
this is memory
So
model.
see, a stack is used to create the local variables and private
Mm-hmm.
variables like that,
Mm-hmm.
and heap is used to store the objects. Like when we create like using new keyword,
Mm-hmm.
in that case, it will create in a heap memory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the difference between heap memory and stack memory?
So both actually is a kind of memory only, but heap memory actually store actual the memory location, but stack actually they store local and private variables and also the reference of that heap memory objects.
Okay. Okay. And our methods callback stores in stack, right?
Callbacks methods, yes.
Yeah.
Stacks for stacks.
Okay, okay. So, Prakash, I would like to share one important thing with you. Actually, we had launched complete interview preparation material, structured step by step by myself, expert, and MNC's interviewers. And the best part is that now no one need to go anywhere else to prepare interviews. There is a 99% chance that interviewers will ask questions from this material.
Mhm.
So basically, it contains a lot of material categorized by experience level. Means each experience level has different material with all possible interview question and answer. With Java, Spring Framework, Maven, Git, Spring Boot, Spring Security, Spring Data JPA, Kafka, Microservices, Java coding questions, Stream API coding questions, and many more. I have
Mhm.
provided the link to get this in the below description. And if someone needs this material plus two real enterprise client projects for reference plus one-on-one lifetime doubt sessions and reference to the big MNCs, then they should check the interview preparation kit. I will provide this link as well in the description below. So now moving to our interview. How does Java garbage collector work?
Okay, so this is also another great feature of the Java that you
Mm-hmm.
use to free up the memory
Mm-hmm.
when the object is not referring to any other object or classes.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it has some few method like finalize and
Mm-hmm.
system.gc. Then again,
Mm-hmm.
runtime dot get runtime dot gc method. So by
Mm-hmm.
using all these things, we can free up the unused memory, and this
Okay.
all things handled by JVM itself.
Okay.
Coder,
Okay.
and no need to worry about this. Yeah.
So have you used hash set and tree set in your project?
Yes, hash set
Okay. So
and
what's the difference between these things?
so let's see, hash set and tree hash set both are the implementation of the map interface.
Uh-huh.
So hash set and see used hash table for the
Mm-hmm.
implementation, and hash tree set used the red black tree for its implementations.
What are their time complexities
Okay, so time complexity is like a order of insertion and deletion is the order of one only.
in both?
Yeah, in both. And one major difference is like
Login should be there in tree set or not? Because it
it is a
is.
tree now, then definitely it will be in logarithm form,
Mm,
complexity only.
okay.
It follow the like insertion order. uh,
Mm, correct.
at
Have you
trees.
implemented functional interfaces?
Yeah, I guess I know about it. Function interfaces.
So what is this about? I mean, what's the
So
concept of?
functional interface like that have only one
Mm-hmm.
abstract method in this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
and we mark this class using add functional interface annotation. This is not
Mm-hmm.
mandatory, but for the convenient purpose, we can use it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, basically, the scenario where only one abstract method required, then in
Mm-hmm.
that case, we can use functional interfaces. This is also introduced in Java 8.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm. Okay. Do you know about cloning, deep cloning and shallow cloning?
I have studied earlier cloning, like
Okay.
to create the object in.
Yeah, shallow cloning copies only references, whereas deep cloning creates new objects for
Yes,
nested
correct.
fields.
Yes, correct.
Mm. Yes, yes. What will happen if you don't override hash code when overriding equals?
What will happen when you override hash code when?
When you don't override hash code when overriding equals. I mean, overriding equals, but not overriding hash code.
I'm not sure about this.
Okay, so basically, objects may behave incorrectly in hash-based collections like hash map and hash set. They leading to inconsistent lookups, some errors,
Okay.
not the compilation. I mean, some errors in processing the data.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
Oh,
of his randomness property.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. What's explain the different ways to create a thread in Java?
Yeah, there is generally we use two ways to create the thread. First is
Mm-hmm.
using thread method, and another is runnable.
Mm-hmm. Do we
So
have other ways?
yes, we have another base, but I'm not able to. I am remember only two at this time: thread and
Mm-hmm.
runnable.
So how can
By
we
implementing
create?
a thread and by extending thread class, and second one is by implementing
Mm-hmm.
runnable.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
correct. Okay, so let's say your application is experiencing a deadlock. So how do you debug it, or how would you debug it?
Deadlock situation.
Deadlock situation.
Debugging of deadlock.
Do you know about deadlock, right?
Yeah, theoretically, I know about deadlock.
Mm-hmm.
It's a situation when some resources are waiting for
So
other
what's like what would be the practical example of deadlock? Cyclic dependencies.
cyclic
One is
dependency.
dependent to other, the other is in similar way.
Yeah,
So how would you debug it?
no idea.
Okay, so there are some tools. We can use JStack, we can use thread terms, we can avoid nested locks, and we can use try lock method.
Okay.
I mean, to lock the dependency so that it would not depend on other thing, something like that. Okay, so how would you design a rate limiting system for an API?
Rate limiting system.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay, okay, it's fine. So do you know about fork join?
yeah, fork. It's actually uh, di division or creating one new instance of the tool.
Mhm.
So like forking.
Okay. Yeah. How would you handle high CPU utilization?
Uh, no, I don't idea.
Okay, so there are something like we should analyze thread terms, optimize loops, reduce GC overhead. We should use JVisual VM. Okay, so do you know about memory leaks?
Yes, I have gone through some memory
Okay.
leak. Like it is like
So, okay, I have one question. So, Java supports automatic garbage collection. Okay.
yeah.
When Java supports automatic garbage collection, so how memory leak happens?
Like in the case let me try. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose when we start any things like
Mm-hmm.
we need to, if we are suppose some files or system is open, but it's for we sometimes coder forget to close that, no, in that
Mm-hmm.
scenario it can be memory leak. Is it
Yeah,
related?
yeah. Yeah,
Just try.
yeah, it's not exact, but yeah, sometimes
uh,
automatic garbage collection not able to remove or clean the memory like
mm,
connections or
connections.
reference of objects or cyclic dependencies. Okay.
That is why it's always a suggestion like to use close
Close resources,
the
avoid
resources.
static references,
Correct.
use weak
Big
references.
references, correct.
Hmm.
So that you can easily free it whenever it is not in reference to any object.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Uh, can you explain? Do you know thread local?
Thread local.
It's a variable.
No, I'm not. I don't have idea.
Okay, okay, it's fine then. Do you know about file processing in Java?
I
Buffer
know
reader,
buffer
string
reader,
processing.
string processing. Yes, I used a long back, like in college only.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine then. Yeah, okay. Moving ahead. What's the purpose of Spring Boot starters?
Okay, so Spring Boot starter is like predefined Maven dependencies actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it automatically configures some dependency like
Mm-hmm.
there are certain dependencies come along with a Spring Boot starter like
Mm-hmm.
Wave, Spring Boot starter Wave, Spring Boot
Mm-hmm.
starter JPA, all these things.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's predefined configured dependencies which help to auto configure the Spring Boot application.
Okay, okay. Yes, correct. Can you name some Spring Boot starters?
Spring Boot starter web is
Mm-hmm.
one, and
Mm-hmm.
a Spring Boot starter my no, that is connector. A Spring Boot starter security,
Yeah, yeah. Mm,
Spring Boot starter test.
test.
Yes.
Okay. How does Spring Boot's actuator work?
Okay, so this is also one of the fine or great features of the Spring Boot, which
Mm-hmm.
provide inbuilt endpoints to
Mm-hmm.
help to which help in managing and monitoring our application.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, so like it's provide like we can see the health check. We can do health checks and all. We can
Mm-hmm.
do auditing of the applications, and also that matrices. We can check matrices and all to check, see the metadata
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all.
Do you know some endpoints of Spring Boot actuator?
Spring Boot, that's the health check is also one of the endpoints, no?
Correct.
Yeah.
What's the difference between request param and path variable annotation?
Request param and path variable.
Path
Okay.
variable.
So both actually handle HTTP request only. So
Mm-hmm.
request param basically take the value from the URL, and
Mm-hmm.
the path param path variable request param path param is no.
Yeah, yeah. Path
And this
variable
one
and request param.
and the path variable I take the value from the URL
Path
path.
variables.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
path. Yeah.
Like slash.
And it's like and request param basically we give the all the values in the method itself only. No? That's why I take from the URL.
So when should we use which one? Oh, like the scenarios.
So in the RESTful APIs, we used path variable and all. Path param used basically in forms when we are submitting forms and all. Correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No.
Okay, so how does Spring Boot manage transactions?
Okay, so Spring Boot managed transactions. This is like features of the Spring Boot security. So
Mm-hmm.
it actually it helps the Spring Boot to either complete transaction or it will roll back if any failure will occur.
What's
So
the annotation name?
add transaction, you know.
Okay,
I
okay,
see
okay.
in main class level like
Mm-hmm.
that enable web security something annotation.
Yes, yes, yes.
No.
What's the difference between synchronous and asynchronous calls in
Okay,
Spring Boot?
synchronous and asynchronous means like
Mm-hmm.
synchronous means like one by one after other. Like if we
Mm-hmm.
take the example of thread like one after other, but asynchronous be like multiple threads or like concurrent
Mm-hmm.
many thread will come and it will work like that. It will handle like that.
Okay.
Asynchronous, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you worked on JWT based authentication?
Sorry, job
JWT, JWT,
JWT JSON token
web
web
tokens.
token. Yeah, it is basically used in auth to authentication.
How can we implement this?
Implementation wise, actually, I did through Google,
Okay.
what to do. Um,
What's
but
the dependency name for JWT based authentication?
um, I just
Okay.
forget. I
Yeah,
just
yeah, it's fine. How does Spring Boot handle circular dependencies?
no idea.
Okay. Do you know about circular dependencies?
I have read about circular dependencies.
Okay.
It is
Okay. So have you faced any error in your career, circular dependency error?
no,
Okay, because I faced multiple times in my career.
so it is
Yes.
important then.
Yeah, yeah. So we can use, I mean, there are several ways to work on circular dependencies. First is we can enable circular dependency in POM file, oh sorry, YAML file.
YAML
So
file.
this way, our compiler will not throw an error if there is a circular dependency. Or
Mhm.
if we don't want to, or there are some other ways like we can include lazy annotation, right?
Mhm.
And we can do some other stuff as well in order to work on the circular dependencies.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay. So moving ahead, how do you optimize Spring Boot for high performance application?
okay. Give me 1 sec.
You mean to make a Spring Boot a high performance application?
To make a Spring Boot high performance, like that is one of the architectural method. So we can create each independent services and all. And
Okay. Like your application is slow and you want to make it a high in speed. So what steps you would take or what things you would do? in your Spring Boot project? Let's say your manager asks you, like, Om
So
Prakash, this
so
application is very
one
slow.
case like caching, we can use caching.
Yes, we
For
can use
one
caching.
like
If
Redis
caching
caching.
is not enabled,
Okay, then caching is not able. Then what? This is also in memory things, and we can
we can use caching, we can use async
async.
processing, we can
Uh,
optimize the queries. If they are not optimized, we can
uh, First
use
important
stream
first part is
APIs.
that only optimizing our query
Mhm.
and code and all. Yeah.
We can use stream APIs whenever
Stream API.
required. We can reduce the code it if that's make I mean if that is slow, like if we are using O n square and we can make it O n log n, so we should do that.
Yeah.
We have to analyze whole application and we have to read the application code,
Okay.
applications code. Okay, so do you know about lazy loading?
I have studied but forget.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. Okay, so how do you work on logging?
Logging.
Yeah, yes, logging.
So logging is basically used to trace or track our like
Mm-hmm.
uh, work like work it is used to basically track our applications
Mm-hmm.
and how to implement this again and
What is the default logging mechanism?
some log 4js.
No, log4j2 is not a default one. We just add dependency of log4j2.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Logback is a default
Log
one.
build.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah. Okay, so mm, have you worked with Kafka?
No, actually
No.
planning to
Okay.
start.
Hmm. Okay.
But
How
I
can you?
know it is a event driven system that used to manage a large volume of traffic. It
Hmm.
distributed through all the servers.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
How can you secure sensitive properties in application properties file
So
or YAML file?
sensitive property.
Hmm.
So in the class level, we can make it as a like a static and final.
No, in the properties or YAML file.
So user ID and pass username pass using username and password.
I didn't get you.
Okay.
Like we can encrypt the properties. We can use Spring Cloud config. We
Okay.
can load the variables to the cloud.
Okay.
Hmm. What's the concept of resilience and circuit breaker in microservice architecture?
Yeah. I have done this like a resilience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not able to make it here.
Okay, it's fine. It happens. So resilience ensures system stability and circuit breakers prevent cascading failures.
Yeah,
Something breaks, we jump to the different method or
yeah. It will not break. It will
fallback method.
continue. Yeah.
Mm,
Like that.
yeah. Have you worked with Spring Data GP?
Yes, Spring
What's
Data.
the purpose of the entity annotation?
Okay, so it is used to mark the class as entity class so
Mm-hmm.
that it can interact with the database.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How do you optimize a large database queries?
Last database query.
Mm-hmm. We can use indexing. We
Yeah,
can
indexing.
use batch processing. We can use
Batch processing,
pagination.
indexing, yeah. Pagination, yes.
We can optimize query statements.
Uh,
What is n plus one query problem?
N+1 query.
Yeah, it's a problem in Spring Data GP.
No, I haven't come across.
Okay, it's fine. Moving ahead. So you are working with Maven, right?
Yes.
Okay, what's the difference between Maven clean and Maven install?
Okay, so Maven clean actually used to clean up or remove all that unused dependency, we can say, and
Mm-hmm.
Maven install used to install or download the new dependency what we want for project.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How would you debug a build failure in a Maven project? Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
No, no idea. No idea.
Okay. Yeah, there are some ways. No worries. Like we can check dependencies, conflicts. Can we can fix incorrect configurations. Okay. So are you working? Do you have knowledge on Git?
A little
Git.
bit. Yeah.
Little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. Like what? Can you tell me what you know about Git? What commands do you know about Git?
Okay, like is to push, pull, and commit.
Push, pull, and commit. And what about merge?
I did with some certain commands, yeah, in the last project
Okay.
with merge and
So what's the difference between git push and git pull?
okay. So git pull means what when we want to download that repo and all. Git
Hmm.
push means when we are try to save our the changes to back to the git. Then we use
Okay.
git push and git after that git commit.
Okay. So what is commit?
Commit means like we are our fix means finalizing our changes for
Hmm.
final
Hmm.
like
Okay. Which collaboration tool you guys are using? GitLab or GitHub or different?
GitLab.
GitLab. Someone reviews your code before merging into the main branch.
Actually, team member used to do sometimes if lead have time, then he can do.
You also reviews to your team members' code.
I didn't get chance for that.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Mm. Are you using Jira?
Jira, yes.
Why do we use Jira?
Jira basically used to track that task among the all the developers and
Okay.
all the employees. Basically, we used to get the tickets called Jira
Mm-hmm.
tickets. Then
Mm-hmm.
their task and description is mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
We can
Okay.
take the reference from there.
Okay. What's your sprint is? I mean, what's your project architecture? It's agile based or it's uh, waterfall model?
It's actually agile only.
Agile. How? How do you know it's agile?
Okay. So
So it's a you are having a sprints, right?
sprints, yeah,
In agile methodology, we have sprint structure.
yeah, sprints.
That's
Yeah,
why
two.
you have a agile
Yeah.
project. So what's the sprint structure?
It's actually 2 weeks for one sprint.
Okay, testing is also included in 2 weeks or only development?
Development and do our manual like whatever testing, just see the outputs are
Hmm.
matching or not, then we will use to hand over to QA.
Okay. So what happens if you are not able to complete your story in 2 weeks?
Basically it's a rare case because
Hmm.
teammates are very helpful, they used to help, otherwise it
Okay.
used to get some more time.
Hmm. Okay. And what about if story is very high priority?
Then we have to sit for long, then we have to do it.
Okay. 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 And which editor you guys are using?
IntelliJ.
And have you used Clips or STS? Is my voice low?
Yeah, audible, yes.
Okay. So have you used?
Eclipse I used in college days, and STS I didn't use.
Hmm. So did you find any difference in Eclipse and IntelliJ?
Actually,
Hmm?
IntelliJ is more of user friendly actually,
How?
and like it's always good, give good suggestion and all. Like it means
Okay.
like UI is also for but look better and all.
Hmm. Okay. And have you resolved conflicts ever in your career? Conflicts in your code?
Conflicts in code resolved, but some when I used to get some resolve conflict like that, I used to take the help from some team
Okay, so
members.
what's a way of your resolving conflicts? Because everyone has different way.
Yeah, yeah. See, so first of all, we have to very clear with our requirements, like what we
Mm-hmm.
are doing and what is the output is required. So if we have any, doubt or some confusion, then we have to clarify with either lead or with BA. They used to clear the problem statement, like, okay, these things you have to do. So
Mm-hmm.
in this, so suppose I get some issues, then okay, then we have to like track back like, okay, where is the issue? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes found, okay, this is no, this is not implemented, it should be right. So in that way we used to figure it out what is other and suppose we tried and still we are saying, okay, in my opinion it is correct only, but it is not accepting and all.
Mm-hmm.
Then in that case definitely we go for lead help.
Okay. How much experience your lead have?
Lead has experience that like 7 or 8 years.
7, 8 years, and you are having 3.5 years.
Oh yeah, 3 months.
Okay, okay. And who is your architecture of your project? Who is the architecture of your project?
Means
Means who designs the features? Who designs the features? Like who collect the information from client and design the
BA,
features?
BA only basically.
Be a business analyst.
Business analyst, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.